Barbie, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about fasting. So there's intermittent fasting, which means you're only eating between certain hours, and there is actual fasting, which means you are not eating at all. You're drinking water and not consuming any food. So I did a 10-day fast a few years ago, and I just sort of want to share my experience. So I did a bunch of research before I did it because I am hypoglycemic and I did not want anything negative to happen. And actually what I learned was that it's actually really good for people who are hypoglycemic to do fasts because it gives your body, it's good for a lot of people. I'm not going to say everybody because I'm sure there's some sort of group that it's not good for. People who are malnourished obviously need to not do a fast. But for most of us semi-healthy people, it is a fantastic thing. So digesting is one of the most laborious things for your body to do, and it's actually really hard on your body to be, especially if you're digesting all the time. You're just sort of low and slow eating all the time. I used to be on that diet, and I'm not anymore, but it's really hard on you, and it's really, really good for you to take that break so that your body can heal other things and it's not consumed with digesting all the time. It's also can be a really cool spiritual experience. They used to fast all the time in biblical days, and we've kind of gotten away from it in modern times because it's hard. It's not easy, but the benefits are numerous and plentiful, and it's definitely worth checking out. So there's also a lot of research that suggests that it can do amazing things like cure cancer and things like that. Here in Northern California, there is a place called True North that you can check out. Dr. Goldhammer, he does a lot of different talks about the benefits of fasting, and they have an amazing success rate for curing all kinds of things, cancer and diabetes, and just the list goes on, and it can be a really, really beneficial thing. Another thing that it can do is sort of reset your palate. So if you really just prefer sweets, all you want to do is eat sugar, that is not a beneficial thing for you. You can live on fruit, but you cannot live on white sugar. That's not going to be good for you. You're going to gain a bunch of weight. You're going to lose your teeth. You're not going to be very healthy. The list goes on and on. It ages you faster than anything. It's 8 times more addictive than cocaine and practically as bad for you. It's just not a good thing. So you're resetting your palate. You're resetting yourself. It's very emotional. It can be a very emotional thing that you can help heal a lot of past wounds, and it can be just a really cool time to sort of go inward and really do some self-work. Now, you're not really functional. I've heard of people working while they're doing a fast. I would not think that I would be able to do that. I think with the power of belief, anything is possible, and anybody can do anything that they really believe that they can do. At the same time, I was not very functional. I basically was able to feed my dogs, feed my chickens, feed my man, and then I went back to bed. So what I did was 3 days before the fast, I went on a totally plant-based diet. So I would only eat fruits and vegetables, and I started drinking just distilled water. Distilled water is just rainwater. It's water without all of the chlorine, hormones, pesticides, bleach, all the stuff that they put in it. It's just rainwater, and so it takes all of the guesswork out. And so I drink distilled water a lot. They say that it leaches bad stuff, the stuff out of you, but it leaches, in my opinion, the bad stuff. So do your own research on that. That's kind of a controversial topic in itself. So for 3 days, I did no sugar, no meat, nothing spicy or fried. It's just all fruits and vegetables and eating really, really clean. And then every time I was hungry when I was fasting, I would do about a quart of distilled water, just chug that down. So I drank about a gallon a day. And they're cheap. It's like $1 for a gallon. So that's like the cheapest medicine ever. So in the morning, what I would do is a distilled water enema, because you're not going to be fueling your body. So you don't want all of those toxins to reabsorb back into you and make you feel lousy. I think that's kind of why people feel really lousy when they fast. Also, it can awaken the demons, and all kinds of other problems can arise that you then need to deal with. And a lot of things that you're doing, like drinking alcohol or smoking pot or all of your prescription drugs, like, you kind of want to be able to like take a break from all of that. I certainly wasn't going to be like smoking pot and then asking myself to not eat, so that can also, like, you're used to drinking coffee, you're used to using things that can also bring forth things that you're using these other things to sort of, consciously or unconsciously, to sort of band-aid them, and it all just sort of rips the band-aid off, which is a really great thing in the end, but doesn't necessarily feel good while you're in it. So you do distilled water enema in the morning, and then I took this vodka bentonite clay body wash that I make. You can also use Listerine, and you just kind of shake it up and put it on a paper towel or a washcloth or something, and rinse out your armpits. Your body is like kicking out toxins at like an exponential rate when you're fasting. It's just, so you stink, you don't smell very good, and your breath starts to stink. And so, using something like homemade mouthwash or Listerine or something can be really, really beneficial. Okay, so the first 3 days actually were not hard for me at all. I was actually really amazed at how good I felt, and it was really not as big of a deal. I'd never really gone that long without food, and as a matter of fact, I kind of freaked out when I didn't have food because I think I'm hypoglycemic. But it actually helped me a lot to realize, like, when I think I'm hungry, I'm actually thirsty. And even though I was thin, I was still overeating, and what I noticed was that my mouth was bored more than I was even actually hungry. So it's really beneficial, if you're doing this by yourself, to keep a journal so that you don't have to try to explain and talk to people around you what's going on with you that just straight up aren't going through that. They don't know what you're experiencing because that's not happening to them. So it's really, really helpful to have something to jot that down so that you're not annoying the people around you. It would be wonderful and ideal to be doing this in a whole group of people that were going through that, so you could talk to them about it, and that would be sort of a thing that everybody is doing. But if you have to do it by yourself, that's okay. Just, keep a journal, and so you can work things out on your own. So things started to get uncomfortable for me about day 7. It was pretty hard, and I was a little worried that I was going to pass out. And my husband said, if you feel like you're going to pass out, pass out. You'll wake up. And I did, and it was fine. It was not a big deal. I slept a lot. I slept almost the whole time. I really didn't have enough energy to even work out. I did a little bit of walking just to kind of move around, but this is a time of rest and inward reflection. You're not trying to push your body at all because it's already being pushed by just not consuming calories like that. And then at the end of the 10 days, I went out to my garden and I had a little bit of spinach and some sweet miso soup. So you want to treat your gut like it's a baby. Like, think about, would you give that to a baby? So nothing spicy, no meat, not a lot of dairy. Like, really, really, for like the next week or 10 days, you really want to like ease back into eating. And I gotta tell you, my first meal of just spinach and miso soup was like a drug. It was so intense. And that's okay. That's what happens. And you get that flood of dopamine, and you're like, your body's like, oh my gosh, what's even going on? But that's, you know, it's kind of all part of it. So you want to be eating lots of yogurt and re-inoculating your gut bacteria with good stuff and not eating anything fried or spicy or not eating huge meals, nothing like that. You just want to be really, really gentle with yourself. And even, you know, what has come up emotionally for you, you want to be really, really gentle with everything that's going on. So I get a question a lot, would I do it again? Absolutely. It was a really good experience. I think you need to do it with purpose to accomplish. I don't think I would have finished it had I not set those goals in the beginning. It was very, very difficult, and even like to the point where you're like almost catatonic during it. You're like really unfunctional. And that's okay. That's all right. If you can take time off and just make that happen, I super duper suggest it. And especially if you have some sort of really intense ailment going on, the healing benefits are unparalleled. It's just amazing. So I would do it again. I do recommend it. I would do it very different. I would want to have someone taking care of my chickens and my dogs and my man and feeding them. It was very, very difficult to be also feeding people while I wasn't able to eat. That wasn't super helpful. And then I also felt like there was something that like I had to do. So that was hard too. So if you can get someone to like farm that out and make that happen for you, then that would be a lot better. Or even like a group, if you can do it with your church people or get a group of people together and just really do it in a super healthy way, and make sure you do your research. Not everybody should do this. So this is something that, you know, you really need to go into with your eyes open. So I hope that this helps you, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you as always for watching.